My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and you're watching the Rasslin Rage YouTube show. Oh!
It's going down! This is Rasslin Rage! It's going down! This is Rasslin Rage! This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade! It's going down! This is Rasslin Rage! It's going down! This is Rasslin Rage! This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade!
And now it's time for Rasslin Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
Booyah! What's crack-a-lackin', everybody? It is Codizzle for Rizzle in the Hizzle here from Rasslin Rage and MIW. I am joined by none other than the most dangerous man, also known as the Godfather, D.B.A. We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to shoot the shit is what we're really going to do. Before we do that, I want to give you guys a heads up. If you scroll down into the description, you can find links to all of XICW's social media. That's where you can stay most up to date on upcoming events, because we're about to get back to business when it comes to Proving Ground. Finally! So you want to definitely make sure you check that out. Also, down in the description, you can find links to Rasslin Rage social media as well as Podbean, where you'll be able to hear the audio version of this interview in a couple days. If you are interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe you already have one and you're looking for unlimited hosting, Podbean's the spot. Let me tell you right now, because they have a low monthly cost and it's unlimited hosting. If you're like me and you put out tons of content, you need that unlimited hosting. There's a link down in the description where you can get 30 days free of Podbean. So make sure you click that link and head on over there. So, D.B.A., my man, what's happening? How you doing? Welcome back, by the way.
What's up, bro? Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. It's not indie wrestling in Michigan if you don't speak about XICW, right? 20 fucking years, man. Let's talk a little bit about 20 years, dude. I mean, it couldn't have been all rainbows and flowers and shit, right? There had to have been some difficult years throughout the 20 years.
Yeah, man, it was a long process. I mean, the saying is, started from the bottom, now we here.
Right. Absolutely. How long, 20 years, how long did it take before there was a lot, you were actually, I guess you could say, successful?
Oh, man, it took some years, man. To build something, it takes time,
Absolutely.
Rush shit, and you can't rush it, so I would say at least 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. In 10 years, I remember I was talking to Rudy, right? Rude Boy. We did an interview with him a while back, and he was talking about, when everybody else was canceling because they'd only get one or two or whatever, you were still running. And those dividends are paying off now, years later of you continuously running. You're now starting to see the benefit of doing that. That's what Rude Boy said anyways.
Oh, man, I appreciate Rude Boy saying that. But yeah, man, we went through a hard time where I thought we was going to have to shut down. I had a meeting at one of the shows, and I was like, this could possibly be one of the last shows that we do. And I broke down and cried and everything. But then I worked things out financially, and and we're still here.
Yeah, hell yeah, you're still here 20 years later. And, we're coming off the House Party series, which, we didn't know if we were going to see XICW through this whole pandemic. I remember at one time you had commented that you didn't think we were going to get back indoors until after the first of the year, going into 2021. Luckily, things are starting to loosen up a little bit, so we're able to go back indoors here starting in November, which Now we're finally going to see, we're going to get to the end of season 7. We got 3 teams left, and they're going to be competing in a 3-way dance, and one team's going to be eliminated now, and then we're only going to have 2 left. We're starting to see some of the promos roll out for that, but for you, now that we're going back indoors, we're returning back to the Hot Rocks. Well, we didn't know if we were going to return back there either because, the building was for sale. I'm not sure if it's still for sale or not, but going back indoors, getting back to Proving Ground, what's that like? I know it had to have been pretty stressful trying to get it all figured out.
Yeah, it was kind of stressful trying to get it figured out. And I still got my fingers crossed because, the COVID cases has been going up lately. So I hope we don't get shut down again.
Yeah, amen.
Fingers crossed, but I can't wait, man. Proving Ground, I love Proving Ground. It was something that we built, and I love when it gets down to the finals. I won season 1 and season 2. I'm one of the judges along with Jamie Cox and A.T. Huck, and we love judging it. And I can't wait to November the 8th to see the 3-way dance. One team got to go, 2 move on to the finals. And I'm happy that we finally get to the end of the season.
Amen to that. I mean, because we're technically, if COVID wouldn't have happened, we'd be into season 8, and I think we'd be like on episode 6 or 7 by now, somewhere in there.
We'll be almost done with season 8 because I looked on my timeline today, and a year ago was the first elimination for this season here.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, and that was in October of last year, so we will be deep into season 8 right now.
Yeah, man, and that's insane. I love Proving Ground. My first Proving Ground was the season final of season 6 with Levi Blue, season 5. Season 5 with Levi Blue and Billy Ray Daniels, the finale. That was my very first one, and I've been hooked ever since. I've only missed one, and Proving Ground, and that was because I was in Amsterdam, and we had that conversation. I'm exempt, as all right. And then of course I missed the 300th event. I was getting ready to go to the 300th event, and then that's when I had my issue and ended up having to go to the hospital. It sucks that I wasn't able to go, but luckily I have some good friends that taped everything for me, and I was able to see the matches. This was the second War Games match in XICW history, with Kira Clan facing off against D.B.A. We saw the return of Aaron Orion, who there was a lot of speculation on whether or not he was the other guy or the other teammate of that, but then ultimately we had another turn by Alex Weir, who turns on his whatever and super kicks everybody and helps D.B.A. or not D.B.A. helps D.T.A. get the win for War Games. What's it like trying to organize and promote a match like that? I mean, because that's pretty a really big deal. As far as bringing in a cage, setting up a cage for a match like that. How the hell do you even get a cage?
We own a cage.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we had it built. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
Okay.
The 300 show was going to be an all-cage match show.
Oh, damn.
I was thinking of a way to try to do it, and we don't shoot the shit, so I called Scott Demore and talked to him about it, and I weighed the cons and the pros on it, and I decided not to do it, and that's when I decided to do War Games.
Okay. Now, when you do War Games, you got to have, it can't just be any teams. It's got to be 2 well-established teams, because otherwise it's just some dudes in a ring or in a cage, right? I mean, you have two of the best factions right now, in my opinion, in indie wrestling here in Michigan, with DTA versus War Inc. / Kira Clan, because I don't know what they are anymore.
Yeah, me neither. I'll shake my head. I don't know what's going on there.
Right. And you think you kind of would, but I mean, they just kind of do their own thing, I guess. They're in the wasteland. How excited are you to get back to Hot Rocks and get Proving Ground going so we can get this finished up?
Man, I'm very excited, man. You know, Hard Rocks is our home. We've been there since day one, and I can't wait to get home. You know, just like when you're on vacation, you don't want the vacation to end, but you want to get home and get on your own fucking bed.
Right.
That's how it is with this show. I'm excited to get back in my own bed, the Hot
Right.
Rocks.
That's awesome. Now, speaking of Proving Ground, I remember a conversation we had, and I believe it was episode 1 of season 7. We were out behind the Hot Rocks and we were all talking. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, in the wrestling business, they may think that this is, you know, all work or what have you, but it's not. This is a shoot competition that is judged by judges and goes off the score sheet and fan reaction. There's no, they don't know who's going to win.
No, I mean, you know, it's not predetermined who's going to be the winner of the competition. It's no cheating. The judges judge fair. We don't pick a team. You know, even like when my son was in the competition, I judge it fair. I don't discriminate against nobody because I came up with the tournament myself. So I'm
Right.
not going to for anybody. You
Right.
know, so it's a shoot tournament where we judge them shoot. And hearts have been broken, minds included, is the reason why I don't participate in it anymore. Um, so it's a legit tournament. It's stressful to the wrestlers. Once it gets down to this part right here, it's very stressful trying to win because we all want to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, who doesn't want to win? But I mean, how many people, like Trey Miguel, for instance, you know, current Impact wrestling star, he competed in Proving Ground. A current Impact star's in Proving Ground right now with Shogun Jackson Stone.
That shows that XICW and Impact got an eye for talent.
That is a true story. There's a few guys that are from Impact that we see at XI quite a bit. One thing I like about Trey Miguel is that, you know, if you didn't know who he was, right, you could possibly be sitting next to Trey Miguel at an XICW show and never know it if you didn't know who he was. Because he will come in and sit down with the fans and just chill.
Yeah, you know, he just enjoying himself. You know, he didn't come to work. He came to just hang out and be a fan.
Yeah. I really dig that. And he's just really down to earth and pretty damn cool, you know, and he smokes, so that's cool. I like that too. So there was a show this past week or something like that, and I heard a few things that D.B.A. was a little pissed off. I don't know the whole story. I just heard a little bit, and I heard there was some shit going down that he wasn't happy about.
Okay, let's see. What did you hear? Because you know when you hear stuff from third, fourth, fifth party, you
Right.
know, it probably can't be true. So
Right.
what did you hear?
Well, what I heard wasn't technically with you involved. What I heard had something to do with the people that were announcing and the shit they were saying about the girls. That was very unprofessional. But other than that, that's all I really heard.
Okay, I read that too. Okay, so for the people out there that don't know what we're talking about JCW, Insane Clown Posse.
Right.
Where do I start before I get pissed off? At first, this interview was going to be about, I don't know if he's their manager of Psychopathic Records or if he's their butt plug or what the fuck it is. But this was going to be about Billy Bill, the person that I had the situation with. But I did a radio station last night with my good brother Rude Boy, and after doing that, I got home this morning and made some phone calls to people, and a lot of people told me that Violent J had something to do with what happened, why I'm pissed off.
Oh.
And I didn't know. So I'm gonna take a trip down memory lane real quick. Violent J and ICP, Shaggy Two Dope. Until right now, I thought we were friends. I thought we were bros. My dad took them under his wing before they even became ICP. And he did a lot for them in his business. Violent J used to invite me over to his house to watch the UFC pay-per-views. We used to go over there to his son's birthday parties. That's how close him and I was.
Right.
Okay. I have done a lot of gatherings. I have done a lot of Hollow Wicked shows, but this by far was the worst fucking JCW show that I was ever a part of. From day one. Okay. The show was Saturday. I get a call Thursday or Friday. I can't remember which day, and I didn't look through my phone. Get a call from the booker. I wasn't going to say his name, but I'm shooting the shit. Truth Martini, my brother. Truth Martini called me, hey, what are you doing Saturday? I'm like, it's Sweetie's dad. That's what I'm doing. It's a show. Who? JCW. What? Yeah, they just gave me the book. So wait a minute. You just get the book 2 days before the fucking show? You didn't have a hardcore match. Would you do a death match? Oh, bro, I don't do death matches no more. But I'll do it for you because you're my brother. Who you want me to work with? He didn't have nobody. So I made phone calls, couldn't find nobody. Call him back. I can't find nobody, bro. Next thing you know, I talked to Lil Malcolm on the phone. He told me he was already booked on the show. And I started going through the deathmatch stuff, telling him about it. He was like, I'll do it with you, Dad. I'm like, oh, father and son, Sweetie's Day, I'll whoop your ass? Okay. So I called Truth Martini, hey, let's do father and son deathmatch. So he advertised a book it, main event. I get to the show, and I don't know if you know Billy Bill or anything about ICP or anything. Do you know anything about them?
Yeah, I know some stuff, yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, I don't know what title is Billy Bill in the company. I have no fucking clue. But as we get into now it's at a house in the backyard, at a house that I've been to 100 times personally, at least 100 times. So I get to where we go to change at, which was the studio. I speak to Billy Bill, even though I hate his fucking guts, because one of my boys worked at Psychopathic, and he treated him like shit and used to call him stupid and all of that and bullied him, and I fucking hated him for that. And I always wanted to punch him in the fucking mouth, but I didn't because of Violent J and Rude Boy.
Right.
So I still spoke to him. And if you know on my Facebook, I speak to people and they don't speak back. That's one of my pet peeves. I want to fucking choke the shit out of them. So I wanted to punch him in the fucking face right then, but I didn't because I knew it was going to be a fucking problem. So I continued to walk into the locker room. That was strike one for that night. Walk into the locker room, say hi to everybody, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, I'm outside with Nicole, my girlfriend, Caden, my son, who's been to the house 100 times now. Remember that. Who's been to the house 100 times from the time he was 5 years old. Remember that. And my daughter-in-law, Malcolm's wife. So we're standing in the back of the backyard where nobody is paying no attention to us. I'm sitting there with my half a gallon of Crown Apple, which they should be a sponsor of mine. I'm sitting there chugging my half a gallon because I'm about to do a death match with my son. And I didn't think about it until this morning when I got the phone calls about Violent J had something to do with this, and I didn't know about it. So he walked past, and then I go back in the locker room 10 minutes later, and Truth Martini comes to me and say, Malcolm, your family gotta leave the property. They didn't pay to get in. I'm like, what? He was like, your family gotta leave. So he didn't know they meant leave from that spot. So they went and sat in some chairs. So Truth came back to me and was like, nah, Billy Bill said they gotta leave the property. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm the main event. That's my girl. That's my son. That's my daughter-in-law. What the fuck you mean they got to leave the property? We rode together. Go tell him we rode together. Truth went and told him. Truth came back. Malcolm, man, I'm sorry. I hate to say this, but Billy Bill said, so what y'all rode together? They got to leave the property. I said, oh, now there's two matches before I go on, bro. 2 matches before I go on as the main event. Oh, my family got to leave? Fuck you, motherfucker. I'm leaving with them. I'm a fucking Monroe. Nobody talks to me like that. So I packed my shit up and I fucking left with my family. Supposed to be the main event.
Wow.
Still got paid.
So did MM3 leave too?
No, MM3 stayed to get his money. He was a smart man. I was pissed at MM3 at first for not leaving with me. Because
Right.
his wife came with us. We all left and he stayed. But he was smart for staying. Because after it all happened, it was like, it ain't no main event. I don't care. I'm still here. I ain't got nothing to do with my dad leaving. Run that.
Bitch,
You know?
pay me.
But the thing is, if it was either from Billy Bill or if it came from Violent J, my son been at the house before. Why the fuck you gonna throw him off the property because he didn't pay? And I'm your main event. That shows you they don't have no fucking sense to be in the wrestling business because they fucking treat it as music where they can just treat the guys like shit. Just like the boys. They kicked most of the boys out after they wrestled, paid them, and fucking made them leave. What kind of shit is that?
That is fucked up.
Said it was a curfew. If it's a motherfucking curfew, why the fuck you running the show? And the show was still going on after we left.
Yeah.
So that curfew was some bullshit. You know, but I don't get it. He had family ties to me, and for somebody, and there was multiple people that told me Violent J ordered Billy Bill to fucking make my family leave. And that's some fucking bullshit because I thought we was better than that. So anybody that I tried to call Violent J this morning, the number that I got is disconnected. So if anybody can get a hold of him or whatever, and he want to get a hold of me, then we could see what the fuck really happened. Because I want to be man to man to see what happened. But I don't give a fuck about Billy Bill because this motherfucker gonna say, so what? So what? You know what? You look like a fucking idiot because you still paid me. You didn't have no main event, and your boss was sitting on commentary waiting on the fucking main event that didn't fucking happen. So how smart was that, goofy?
Right. Well, how in the fuck you gonna tell? How you gonna fuck? That doesn't make, that's so fucking dumb. How you, dude, this is a thing. Like, your wife, your girlfriend, and your son. I mean, that's dumb. Really fucking stupid.
They've been there all day. They did this 2 matches before my match. Why? But like I said, it was a shit show from the moment I got there because we was told all the matches was 20 minutes. And then probably 2 or 3 matches into the show, we was told all matches was cut down to 10 minutes. You know, so that shows you they don't give a fuck about wrestling, man. They treated the boys like shit, cut off fucking matches, didn't really give a fuck.
How much were they charging a ticket on this show? Do you remember?
I don't fucking know. I think like I heard some people were scalping fucking they shit for like $500 on the internet. To be in his fucking backyard. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, amen to that shit.
Oh, and then check this out. Soon as me and Caden and Nicole pulled up, Caden is 15 now. Soon as we pulled up, he was like, Dad, we've been here before, haven't we? Ain't this the house that I slammed my finger in the shower when I was little? He was like 5 years old, bro. And
Wow.
you kick him out the fucking backyard?
That's ridiculous, dude. That's fucked up. I didn't know about that. I didn't hear anything about it. All I really heard was the bullshit commentary and calling the women whores, calling the women wrestler whores on commentary. Like, talk about fucking professional, huh?
But in their defense, that's their stick. They've been doing that since day one. They started out as Juggalo champion shit wrestling. They started out with a paper plate with champion on it on a regular belt that holds your pants up. They started out as a fucking joke.
Right.
You know, so if you go back to all their videos, that's how they do their commentary. You know, they call Terry Funk, Terry Drunk. You know, that's what they do. You can't get mad. In their defense, you can't get mad at them for doing that because that's how Shaggy and Violent J commentate.
Right. And I get that, but I don't, somebody that doesn't know that when they come in, like I know that Thunder Kitty wasn't none too happy about it.
Yeah, I read about that.
You know. And she's a great female wrestler too. And
Yes, she is.
You
It's
know.
great. I love it.
Yeah, her whole shtick she's got going on, and the whole, I just love it. Everything she does, the whole thing. I love the whole thing. I do. So it's safe to say, unless we get some conversation between you and Violent J and stuff, that you probably won't be at JCW anymore.
I probably wouldn't be there anymore anyway because Rude Boy's not the booker no more. Everything was smooth when he was the booker, and he ran the shows because he's a professional. He's been in the business forever,
Right.
so he knows how to book a show. He knows how to run a show. Once you get somebody in the music business trying to book a show, a wrestling show, it's not gonna work.
Right. I remember when I sat down with Rude Boy and we were talking a little bit in the interview, and he talked about old school when he was coming up and being trained, with your father and everything, and the Sheik, and he was saying when he was in the locker room, you didn't talk as a new guy. You waited for them to talk to you.
Yep.
And that tells you a lot of how old school he really is, because it's not so much like that anymore. It's a little bit different now. Right. And a lot, if you pay attention to his Facebook or any conversations that he has about professional wrestling, he's very old school, and he believes that, and I know this from talking to him, there's a good guy, there's a bad guy. And then you wrestle,
Yeah.
and you work the fans, not each other.
But if it like Rude Boy said last night, if he was at that JCW show, that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
It wouldn't have happened. My family wouldn't have got thrown out. Because why would you throw away your main event? You got tables, chairs, barbed wire, all this hardcore stuff that useless because you wanted to kick my family out. Come on now. Use your fucking brain if you got one. But apparently they don't have a fucking brain, motherfucker, because it was fucking dumb to do that. What kind of business sense was that to pay the guys in the main event and to buy all of that shit just to not have the main event?
Well, it's definitely going to put a sour taste. I mean, if I was there, I wouldn't come back. You know what I mean? As myself, personally. Because...
But they get their own fan base, so...
Right. But
I've been there, done that. I mean, like I said that night, I'm a Monroe. I'm not a fucking Mark, and that's what I told Truth. I said, you tell that motherfucker I'm a Monroe. I'm not a Mark. I don't need to be out here to fucking work for them. I'm not fucking 18 years old dressed up with fucking paint on my goddamn face. I'm a 46-year-old grown fucking man that's been wrestling 24 fucking years. It's not my first rodeo, so I don't need JCW. Like I said, I did a bunch of the gatherings, did the Hollow Wickets. I'm not fucking 18 trying to be on their dick.
Right.
So I can fuck less if I work for them again.
Yeah.
But like I said, be fucking men, and whoever fucking called the decision, fucking call and tell me. Be a fucking man. So I ain't got to be on here calling two people out at once.
Right. Were you ready to because one thing you're known for is, talking about stabbing a motherfucker. Would this be a stabbing situation?
Bro, I'm going to tell you this. If Billy Bill wouldn't have he got out of my way when I was packing my shit up quick as hell. He got the fuck out of my way. If he would have said one word to me, I'd be in jail right now. Because like I said, I was drinking my half a gallon of Crown Apple. I was already on 10 right there.
Right.
So, and I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to lie. I had a pair of scissors in my hands as I was leaving. So, them scissors would have went up his ass or in his neck or in his eye or some motherfucking where because I was already pissed off. So, that would have happened, but I'm glad it didn't.
Right.
It's like when MJF took the gun unloaded. I took a pair of scissors and didn't use it.
Right. Well, I'm glad that you didn't have to stab a motherfucker and you didn't go to jail. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't. Well, we probably would. Someone bail your ass out and we'd have proven ground, no problem. Now,
I've been bailed out the day of shows before.
You know, I didn't really get the opportunity to really ask you questions when we did the 5 Minutes of Fame and when we were talking about the 300th event and stuff like that. But when you look back at all the events that you've done and the 20 years of promoting, I mean, just XICW, because, you know, you helped your dad when he had his stuff going and doing your thing too. When you look back at it all, do you just go, sometimes you got to go, man, what a crazy life?
I still don't believe it. People have to convince me and tell me this stuff because I don't believe it. We're at the point where we're at now. You know, I never would think in my wildest dreams I own my own company and to be running this long and to be Michigan's longest running promotion. I never thought I would surpass the Sheik. And I didn't think about that until a good friend of mine, Frantic Frank Young, he was the one that messaged me and told me that. You know, it's like, I'm proud of you. You're the first black man to do this, you know, all that good stuff. And I never thought of any of that, you know, so I'm at the point now, I'm still overwhelmed. I'm still in shock. I can't believe it. 20 years has been a long time to be running a company and to be a black man running a company. You know, it's just, I'm still overwhelmed.
Well, that's good. I like it. I love XI, man. And you guys know that. And I say it 100 times and I'll say it 100 more times. It's by far my favorite promotion in the state. And, well, you can tell, I mean, XI gets tons of time on Rasslin Rage for sure. Another thing is, so unfortunately at the 300th event, you and your partner, Jamie Cox, didn't get the W for them tag titles. And now, Rhino and Heath Slater are now current XICW tag team champions. Are we going to see a rematch between you guys, or are they going to go on and start defending those titles against other teams?
Man, I didn't expect in my wildest dreams to lose the titles at the anniversary show. I was very confident going into there, but I have been gored plenty of times, and Rhino always break me in half with a fucking gore. So I had it in my mind, watch out for the gore. But by the time I watched out for it, it was too fucking late, man. He almost knocked my fucking boots off, and then Heath Slater fucking hit me with a fucking move, and that was all she wrote. I was fucking out. You know, we deserve a rematch. We're supposed to get a rematch. We're still in negotiations to bring them back. I know they're going to be at a IWR show in November in Monroe.
Right.
So I don't know.
Figure it out, right? When we get there.
Yep.
There's a lot of history with the title belts at XICW. Like if you look, for instance, if you look at the lightweight heavyweight championship or the lightweight championship, right? And you look some of the names that are attached to that belt that have won that belt, and we're talking guys that are either currently signed or have been signed in multiple promotions, AEW, WWE, Impact, and that's not just one title. I mean, the Hot Rocks itself, right, is a wrestling landmark, really, if you think about it, the Hot Rocks itself, because before it was the Hot Rocks, it was the Ritz. And when it was the Ritz, I mean, there are pictures in WWE specials of guys in the WWE wrestling at the Ritz coming out of Canada, like Christian and those guys, you know. What's it like to be able to go, man, I know and you're on a personal level with these, dude. It's like, as a fan, it's like, oh my God. But as you know, a businessman, it's just like another day at the park for you.
Yeah, it's just another day with my brothers to me.
Right. There's a lot, like we said, 300 shows, and if you go back and you look at some of these title holders, the people that have been or have competed with XICW or at XICW, I mean, it's like the creme of wrestling history. That's
Yeah, you know, the X Division champion in Impact. He was the Midwest champ. He was the lightweight champ. He was the tag team champ. Uh, Drake Maverick, that's in WWE, was going by Spud. What Spud? I was about to say Spud McKenzie. Ain't that the fucking dog?
yeah,
Rockstar Spud.
yeah.
Uh, he was the Midwest. He left the Midwest champion to go into WWE. He
Oh,
won
wow.
the Midwest championship at Kobo, and then he got signed to WWE right after he won the belt. You
That's
know,
amazing.
so um, I'm pretty fortunate to have a bunch of great talent working for me, and you know, I think I learned that from my dad and At Huck. You know, they had a great eye for talent. You know, like you said, Edge Christian. You know, Rhino.
Right.
You know, Joey Legend. The list goes on and on and on and on.
It sure
You know,
does.
and so I'm pretty good with having a great eye for talent, and I hate to do that.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to do that, though, right? Sometimes you got to.
First, I did that.
Right. The guys always tell me that I need to pat myself on the back a little more, but I feel like the more humble I am, the more it shows everybody else that I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be that guy. I want to be somebody that's remembered for trying to elevate everybody else rather than elevate myself. So, as far as XICW goes, I know we're going back to Hot Rocks. We're getting back indoors. Do we know? We know November 8th will be proving ground. We're returning back. Do we know when we're going to see the finale yet, or are we still working that out?
The finale is going to be Sunday, December the 6th.
Oh, so I mean,
Uh,
yeah, nice. We're getting right back into it. I love it.
Yeah, that's the benefit, though, you know, to feed the homeless and
Yeah.
buy them gloves and hats and stuff. So my favorite show of the year.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait for that. We were at the one last year. That's the one where we bring canned food and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And if you don't bring canned food, you can donate money too, so that you can buy gloves. And if you guys don't know this, it's not like he just takes the money and hands them money. He actually goes out and buys the gloves and all that stuff and personally gives them to the people. So,
I also buy the food and cook them dinner for Christmas.
see that, man? And that's amazing stuff. He doesn't have to do that, but he does because he's a cool person. He's the most dangerous man in Michigan, but don't let him fool you. He's got a little bit of a heart, you know?
I do.
He does.
I do. I've been there, man. You know, growing up, we didn't have it all. You know, it's plenty of nights I went to bed, and I say this as a joke, you know, but it's real. It's plenty of nights I went to bed and I ate sleep. I had to eat sleep, you know.
Right.
So I first started these hardcore with the heart for the troops. You know, I used to send them care packages in December over to Iraq and Afghanistan and all that because I'm a veteran. I started that, and then I noticed I needed to do something for the people at home. You know, I was driving down by the train station and saw all the homeless people and all of that. So I decided to change it to, you know, to feed the homeless in Detroit, man. And I'm so glad I did that, man, because, you know, like last year, man, this one guy, he was a veteran. You know, I gave him 2 plates. I'll never forget this guy, man. I gave him 2 plates, and he was like, "Hey, bro, man, can I give you a hug?" I was like, "Bro, you can't give me a hug." And, you know, he said he was shaking. He was shaking because he was an alcoholic and he didn't have nothing to drink. He's like, "I hate to ask you this, brother, but do you got any alcohol?" And I had just got a full bottle of a Crown Apple given to me as a gift for Christmas. I cracked it open and poured half of it in the pop bottle for him, man.
Oh,
Gave it
man.
to him. He was so happy.
Well, I'm
And
sure.
I didn't think of it at the time, you know. I just thought it was the right thing to do. And I love doing these December hardcore with the heart shows to feed the homeless, man. It's the best thing in the world.
You know, that's something that blows my mind. Because through the dojang where I do karate, we do a big fundraiser to feed people. We do where we make boxes full of entire Thanksgiving dinner, turkey, the whole 9 yards, you know. And a couple of years ago, we found out that there was an organization that deals with strictly homeless veterans. And I'm going to myself, how in the fuck is that a thing? How is veterans, people that have served our country to protect our rights, homeless? How does that fucking happen? How does our country allow that to happen? That's fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It's very fucked up. You know, they need to help our veterans before they help anybody else.
Amen to that, dude. I mean, come on, dude. These guys went over, and some, guys that have served during wartime, and dude, how in the fuck? That just blows my mind. I just can't even imagine. I was at a restaurant today, and I seen that, the little boxes that they have to donate money, and it was an organization, something to do with homeless veterans. And again, I'm like, how in the fuck is this a thing? This should not be a thing.
Yeah.
At all, whatsoever. We gotta do something about that. Dude, thank you. First of all, thanks for coming on and thinking about me as a way to do this. And second of all, I want to say thank you for allowing Dre Jacobs and the Dread King Logan and those guys to do this match for me, for my fundraiser. It means a lot to me, dude. I never expected any of this. I don't feel like I deserve it, but I definitely thank you guys for, doing that. It's awesome it's an awesome feeling to know people care.
Yeah, man. We're a brotherhood. We're family, and we got to look out for family. We hate that you was in the hospital, and
Amen.
Logan called me and asked me if he could, he did the whole spiel, and I was like, fuck yeah, bro. How much are we at now?
I think we're at like 1,100, something like that.
Oh, because I heard if it get to like 15, then I think Levi Blue gonna be the special guest referee.
Yeah, it's Barf from Spaceballs, dude.
Yeah, he gonna be Barf, and then if it get up to 2,000, they get an ice cream name after them or something, right?
Yeah.
Ice cream, and then they said something about a flaming elbow.
I heard something about that too. I don't know where that came from, but that's what I heard.
So I hope we get up to $2,000 so we can see about some ice cream and some flaming elbows. I don't know but let's get Cody $2,000, y'all. Let's donate to Cody, man. He did a lot for us. He has been doing a lot. He's helping us out. Let's get up to $2,000 so we can see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to be a good time, and I definitely look forward to seeing everybody back at the Hot Rocks at the 8th. I want to remind everybody that if you go down in the description, you can find links to XICW's, all their social media. They have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can also find XICW has a Pro Wrestling Tees store. Just search XICW. You'll find that on Pro Wrestling Tees where you can get XICW shirts. I don't think you can get that 300 shirt there. I think you got to buy that at XICW.
This is not on Pro T store.
Right, so it's exclusive, right? So you got to get it there. And also, again, there's very limited tickets available for November 8th, Proving Ground. Listen, Proving Ground's back, and as soon as those tickets go on sale, you better start buying or else you might not get one because seats are limited right now, and when it wasn't limited, it was packed. So get your tickets.
So only a few tickets left. I think it's a 4-seater table left. Since the pandemic is going on and everything, things have to change, and we're going to have to change the seating around at the Hot Rock. It's not going to be the normal seating that it's been.
Right.
Like you said, it's going to have to be social distancing, and it's not going to look the same. It's going to look like when we ran back in 2010, maybe. We didn't really have no chairs ringside. The chairs was pushed further back, and it was tables and booths, and and we're going to do the social distance. Everybody had to wear their mask unless you're eating or drinking. Your temperature going to get taken at the door, like we've been doing, safety precautions. And that's pretty much it. It's only a couple of tickets left. There's one table left. And other than that, you're going to have to wait to be December show to buy your tickets if you don't get them within a day or so, because they're going to be gone.
Amen. And yeah, that's like the guys and I, if we're at a show, we're checking. We're looking. We're waiting. Like every day, we're waiting. All right. They're right. Let's go. We got to buy our tickets. Like right now. Right? It's how it is, because we know that if we don't buy it, we ain't going to get it. So, and them boosts go quick.
before the pandemic, the booths was selling out months in advance.
Yeah, they were. I loved it.
Yeah.
The booths are amazing. I love the booths, man. But also, listen, MIW Rasslin Rage, we got merch. You see this sweet hat I got here? That thing's pimp.
Yeah, that's nice.
You like that? That's pimp, right? And it's got the MIW on front, and it's got the Rasslin Rage on back. So listen, you can get one of these hats for $20, guys. And listen, I have first run MIW T-shirts still available. I only got 6. You buy one of these and one of those, I'll give it to you for $35. The new shirts are going to be, I'll have our new shirts when we go to XICW on November 8th. So that's going to be a good time, man. I can't wait. Yeah. It's going to be great. I'm probably going to get wasted because I'm going to fucking take the 9th off of work. And that way I ain't got to work. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah, it will be a good time. I can't wait to get home.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you go down there and head on over to XICW and subscribe and like and do all their things. Make sure you also, I forgot to mention this, XICW has a YouTube channel now. All right, they've always had one, but now they're really uploading a lot of content on there. I believe most of, if not all, of the house party matches are up. Pretty close. We're getting there. Most of them are up on there. So if you weren't able to go to house party, you can check them out on their YouTube page. Good stuff on there. I have them recorded too, but I've been waiting till they get all their stuff taken care of because I don't want to take any of their shine, man, because, you know, it's XICW and you don't want to piss the Godfather off, right? Yeah. So, all right, everybody. I want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you to D.B.A. for coming on. And you guys have a great night, man. D.B.A., any closing remarks before we get out of here?
I just want to say, man, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for letting me air out my situation about JCW last Saturday. And,
absolutely.
If I get a call, I get a call. If I don't, fuck them.
Yeah, that's what I say. Fuck off. Anyways, everybody have a good night. We will see you November 8th for XICW Proving Ground. Peace.
It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage.